Let's get more on the state of India's economy now and go to Mumbai, and joining us live from there is Rebecca Bundhun. Rebecca, great to have you on the show. India's growth is looking strong, but what's been the reaction amongst the public to these rising interest rates from some big banks like SBI?
There's been very much a mixed reaction on the part of consumers. On the one hand, what we saw first of all was State Bank of India, which is the largest public lender. First of all, it raised the fixed deposits rate. Now, this was seen as a very positive move. A lot of people have been going for more sort of risky investments, such as stocks, because fixed deposit savings rates haven't been as good as they were previously. But then, of course, once these rates rose, it was very much expected that lending rates would also rise, and that's what we've seen happening with the sort of the benchmark lending rates now. And that's kind of seen as negative. It means eventually we will see things like home loans, car loans going up. And this comes at a time when, although we're seeing that headline figure of the economy growing, there is still very much concerns among consumers following moves such as demonetisation, the introduction of the goods and services tax. And we've seen markets like the property market, for example, perhaps not doing as well as some other sectors, and people being reluctant to actually make those kind of purchases. So if things like home loans go up, that's not really received well by the public. But as I said, on the other hand, interest rates on savings account, that's great news for the public.
But they're giving with one hand and taking away with the other, the banks in India. Let's talk about the Indian economy as a whole. You mentioned some of the potential bumps in the road over there, but what are analysts saying looking further afield as to the weak spots in the Indian economy?
Yes, the figure is very positive, but it doesn't really tell the full story, and that's what analysts are saying, that there are definitely signs of weakness in the economy. For example, you have got issues such as trade deficits, so that goes to the exports and the imports, and you're seeing imports growing very rapidly, and exports aren't keeping pace with that. So that leads to this trade deficit, which is a problem for India. India is very reliant on imports of oil, gold, for example, which are very costly. Right. And then there are other sectors that are areas of concerns. For example, the banking sector, that's still going through a very difficult time. Most recently, we've seen this example of the Moody $2 billion US dollar banking scam, and this has only highlighted some of the malaise in the banking system. They're still struggling with bad debts and so on. And also, when you talk to small business owners, the situation on the ground is still difficult to some extent following demonetisation, when the government banned the 2 highest banknotes, following the introduction of goods and services tax. Perhaps they're not receiving the benefits of this growth. That's what they feel when you talk to them.
Rebecca, nonetheless, though, Moody's seems to be pretty upbeat about India. Its latest report, in its latest report, tell us a little bit more about what they've been saying.
Moody's has been very upbeat. In fact, although they've been upbeat, they haven't actually upgraded their growth forecast at all. But they have been positive. They've been saying what we're seeing with these sort of the better growth and things like that. India is starting to emerge or even recover from some of the impact of demonetisation and the introduction of a new goods and services tax last year. And then the other thing they were very positive about was the union budget, which took place last month, a month ago, in fact. And that was very favourable for the rural economy, and they were perhaps hardest hit by those banknotes being suddenly scrapped in November 2016. So they've seen this as a favourable move that can help boost that segment of the economy, which will have a cascading effect onto other businesses. Of course, that union budget was seen as slightly populist ahead of the general elections, which are scheduled to take place next year.
All right, plenty to play for. We'll leave it there. Rebecca Bundhun in Mumbai, thank you so much.